Hello students, I am Dr. Tanmay Vishwas. I welcome you all in my channel Chemistry, the Mystery of Molecules. So in this video we are going to discuss an interesting topic, that is cis-decalin versus trans-decalin. I believe this topic may be interesting to you and you have heard this thing, the stability difference. So first of all we will discuss very briefly about their preparation, their stability, what is thermodynamic control product, what is kinetic control product, and their application in hydrogen storage or sebacic acid preparation, like after that a polymer preparation. So a lot of interesting chemistry to be learned in this video, so I request you student, please watch the video until the end with a cool mind. And most importantly, I have a request, if you really like my teaching, then please subscribe this channel, and if possible please support me through Patreon. Okay, so let's start. So first of all, it is a decalin. Why this word means decalin? First of all, its parent compound, if you look, this is naphthalene. Okay, so this is actually naphthalene. Now just look at this. In this case, no double bonds are there. These two are isomer may considered, and in this case, how many double bonds are reduced? Actually 5 double bonds are reduced. So you may consider that 5 hydrogen molecules are needed to reduce, and that's why this is called actually decalin, because deca number of hydrogen, 10 number of hydrogen is added to this. Point number 1. Second, okay, so this is the thing. Now actually how this reaction happens. First of all, so if you look at this molecule little carefully, first what will do? In presence of 2 molecules of hydrogen, it will obviously in presence of catalyst. Okay, I'll come. So this, it will first produce this thing, and this is named as tetrahydronaphthalene, not decalin. This is tetrahydronaphthalene. So obviously based on this logic, what could we consider this? Decahydronaphthalene. Okay, so in this case what happened? These 2 double bonds are reduced. Question, why? See, if you look at the aromatic stabilization, benzene, whose aromatic stability is near about 36 kilocalorie per mole. In case of naphthalene, it's near about 61 or 62, like that. I'm not sure, please correct the value. So logically 2 benzene is equivalent to, it should be 72. Okay, 72 kilocalorie per mole we can expect, but whereas resonance stabilization of naphthalene is 61 kilocalorie per mole. So from this thing you can consider that there is something missing. What happens? That resonance stability is little less compared to naphthalene, means the double bonds are not so much localized, and that you can see when the aromatic electrolytic substitution on naphthalene occurs. Okay, so actually its double bond is confined somewhat between these 2 bonds. That's a different issue. So if you reduce naphthalene into this tetrahydrodecalin, right now this is 61, right now this is 36. So how much loss of resonance energy? 61 minus 36 equal to 25 kilocalorie per mole. That's why if you compare that, okay, first step is this and second step is this decalin preparation, which one is easier? Obviously the first step is easier. Okay, so this is the chemistry. So in this way it will result. Okay, so now let me give you a MCQ. Okay students, so you can see the MCQ in front of you. I have given, so you have to answer what is the most stable intermediate. I request you student, based on the previous understanding and your common sense, please pause, try this question. So first pause the video and try by yourself and write your answer in the comment box. I want to see the right answer in the comment box with a brief explanation why you think among 4 one is the most stable intermediate and why, based on your opinion. Okay, so I believe you have tried by yourself, so it's my turn to give you. So what is the most stable intermediate in this reaction? Now question, intermediate and most stable, how possible? So first of all, intermediate need to have a significant stabilization. Okay, how that is possible? When the intermediate has some specific stabilization energy. And the answer of this problem is this tetrahydronaphthalene. Why? Because just look at fast hydrogenation, what it will do? 1 double bond will reduce anywhere. And remember, the reduction will happen on one side, not hypothetically you may consider that, sir, it is possible logically. This, will it happen? Or you can say that, sir, this possible, will it happen? Previous one was not that much conjugated, right now a long conjugation is there. Remember, conjugation is fine. Aromatization or aromaticity is a one step ahead. It's further conjugation, very stable extended conjugation, more stabilization. So these are not produced because in this case, the aromaticity of two ring 1 and ring 2 is disturbed. No one is aromatic. Okay, so one will be aromatic. So first of all, now one will be aromatic, we understood the stable intermediate means this is gone, this is gone. What is left? Either this or this. Now, if you look at this versus this, question who is more stable? You can say that, sir, benzene is there is attached double bond, it is expected to be more stable. This statement is little complicated. Why I say? If you look at the reactivity of simple double bond versus a benzyl derivative, who is more reactive? Obviously, you will say that, sir, what kind of reaction? Obviously, you can consider hydrogenation. This means or aromatic electrophilic substitution. So this, and by the way, I have discussed previously in the video of Raney nickel, I explained how the hydrogenation thing is occur. In this case, so actually binding of the aromatics, those things, transfer, everything is matter. So this will react a little slower compared to this because this is in conjugation, so homo is expected to higher. So although you can say stabilization, but from the reactivity point of view, it is not that much stable, and that's why after certain reaction you can isolate this. In the reaction medium, there are lots of literature where you can, if you reduce this tetrahyd naphthalene, you will get this thing, you can isolate, but it is not that much easy to isolate. Okay, so from this discussion, we conclude that hydrogenation of naphthalene, first of all, possible. Second, it produces tetrahydronaphthalene as an intermediate. Reason is resonance stabilization of one benzene nucleus. Okay, so fine, we have understood this. Now question, through this process, what we produced decanate. Now simple thing, these two are not stable, actually they are, you may consider cis or trans isomer. Now which one is cis? So this is actually cis and this is trans. Okay, so this is cis, this is trans, you can see. Now question, why this is cis? Okay, why this is cis? You may argue, okay, let's consider these hydrogens are same side, that's why cis. Okay, now you can say that, sir, these carbon are two same side, why they don't consider cis? See, cis means they are always cis. Okay, so one example I want to give you in this case, please try to remember, student. We say cyclohexane oxide or epoxide. This is what is the actual thing. We know epoxide, small 3-member ring, means ring will be in same side. Ring generally don't have a trans. If you go very high number of carbon chain, then anti-orientation or trans type of ring formation possible. So in this case, what type of thing possible? First, this is one, means hydrogen, one is here, one is here. See, from this hydrogen point of view, cis. Another thing possible, that this is oxygen, this is, so hydrogen 1, hydrogen 1. Remember this thing during your cyclohexane chemistry, this is very important. So based on this understanding, if we extend, this is trans. Why? Because of these hydrogens are 2 anti. Now question is this. Now question is rotation possible? Means this we know that cyclohexane can flip and cis turn conversion possible. Is it possible? This is possible. So actually this very rapid with means in the second step this hydrogen, it is right now in axial. In the structure it will be equatorial and this is equatorial, it will go axial. Okay, the same thing. So possible, but in this case it is not possible. Okay, not possible. Why? See, in this case you can consider this is actually locked. What do I mean by locked? See, theoretically, if you want to write this diaxial form, means this one hydrogen, this is one hydrogen. Then how many carbon you have consumed? 1, 2. Right now 2 carbons you left, either this or this. So these 2 carbon number 1, carbon number 2, do you think possible? Obviously it's a very strained condition, and these 2 carbon 1 and 2 is not enough to separate them. That's why they can't undergo flip. That's why you can consider this is actually a rigid molecule. Rigid molecule. So we understood that rotation was not possible in this case, but rotation possible in this case. Point number 1. Next, second question. Which one is more stable? Okay, which one is more stable? First of all, actually this is more stable. Why? So stability means you need to consider that biaxial interaction of cyclohexane. So what do I mean? If you take a simple cyclohexane, diaxial means this 2, 3 hydrogen. I am not going to the below one, just simplest. This, and this is called 1,3 diaxial. Okay, interaction. Now just look at this molecule. In this case, hydrogen, 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 hydrogen. Not that much. Means there is diaxial interaction, hydrogen, hydrogen. But if you look at this molecule, okay, where interaction possible? So let me draw. And by the way, student, please try to learn how I am drawing, because this drawing is also a very important issue. Okay, this is one hydrogen and that is one hydrogen. So in this case, how this 1,3 diaxial interaction operates? See, look at, there is one hydrogen, there is one hydrogen, and in this case there is one CH2. Okay, in the previous case, see everything, this is hydrogen, so diaxial positions are hydrogen. So that's why hydrogen-hydrogen interaction is less compared to this hydrogen versus CH2. This is a significantly higher, you may consider, steric repulsion, and this thing is considered as 1,3 diaxial interaction. When there is a less amount of stabilization, you can consider there is higher extent of reactivity, and obviously that thing is observed. That's why we can consider that this cis1 is relatively more reactive. By the way, student, many times we say that this is more reactive, this is less reactive, but we don't consider that how much more reactive or less reactive. This is actually a relative thing. So that's why you always should mention whether they are relatively more stable or less stable. Okay, now we understood that which one is more reactive this is, and how we can explain this phenomena in a different way also. Please try to understand how. See, you are doing the hydrogenation of naphthalene and you are getting this 2 product. Now question, this is more stable. So this is relatively more stable. So we can consider this is actually TCP, or thermodynamically controlled product. And this is actually KCP, or kinetically controlled product. Okay. So from this study, based on our basic knowledge, if we do reaction faster and using activated catalyst, then what can we get? We can get KCP. But if we do the reaction at higher temperature for a long time using more stable reagent, then we can get TCP. By the way, I am making a very crude comment. I will discuss this thing separately in some next dedicated video. Generally, very reactive catalysts like nickel derivatives, they prefer to give KCP under less drastic condition, means low temperature relatively. And under very stable catalysts, high temperature like palladium, those things prefer to result in thermodynamic control product, that is TCP, means transfer. Okay, so from this we have understood. Now, previously we have learned that if a molecule, if you use KCP, is not that much stable but reactive, and under reaction condition it can give something else. And remember, by nature every reaction is reversible. Okay, so now we will come. So first of all, we understood that naphthalene is converted into corresponding this decalene derivative by selective hydrogenation in presence of hydrogen and a catalyst. Now this reactivity could be utilized for another purpose. Purpose means this is right now a very hot topic, student. Please careful. Liquid state hydrogen storage for fuel. So it has a fuel application. What do I mean by the statement? See, this is relatively more reactive compared to this. So it will react faster. Second thing, if it is stable, stable means reactant to go something. Now what happens? Actually this reaction is reversible. And that reversibility is utilized for liquid state hydrogen storage for fuel. What do I mean by the statement and why this is needed? See, right now all over the world trying to use hydrogen as fuel. Okay, but the biggest problem is storage of hydrogen. How would you store? Because hydrogen is very difficult, and another thing, if you want to cool the hydrogen, then you need to give you need to give lots of energy. This thing, you need to maintain cold temperature. Those are difficult for commercial purpose. For example, you may consider that, okay sir, I will store hydrogen in a cylinder and use. Now question, within a particular volume of a cylinder, how many molecules of hydrogen you can store? Okay, that is a problem because this attraction is very less. But compared to that, if you can convert, and another thing, these hydrogen cylinders are very risky from safety purpose also, that's a question. Now, if you can convert something, hydrogen, into something else which can store in a chemical form, and when you need, you can take it out. That's a good thing. Even you can consider this thing in a different way, that during the daytime, sun gives huge amount of light, so we convert everything using solar energy. And we know every chemical transformation needs some energy. So we will store the energy in this way. Means using that energy we will produce hydrogen and we will convert this reaction, keep it. And when we need, we will use the reverse reaction and burn the hydrogen. And another thing, why the reverse reaction will happen? Look at the molecule. So from there, an non-aromatic molecule, and we are getting an aromatic hydrocarbon. That is the important thing for this purpose. And by the way, it is observed that cis-decalene, this cis isomer, is relatively more efficient for conversion into corresponding naphthalene derivative compared to trans. Okay, so and another thing, for example, you may think a hypothetical situation, you need to convert this thing into that, and instead of that you need to produce something. So one part is there in the mixture, means you are using a mixture of product there which gives quickly this, another gives slowly. So you will have enough time. First you give the condition, it will convert, produce some energy, and that energy will help to convert this thing into this. So it's a continuous cycle type, and similar type of chemistry you have observed in case of ibuprofen. This ibuprofen molecule has two isomers. One is active stereochemical, means active to reduce the fever, but other is not. But what happened? The other could be converted in our body using some enzyme to the active form, such that optimum dose in our body could be maintained and enantiomeric separation is not needed. So such kind of, I have already discussed in a dedicated video, please visit if you want to learn, but this thing is applicable for this chemistry also. Okay, second thing, if you see diesel is a high carbon, you may consider like 40, I'm not exactly sure students, 16 to 18 like that. It's a very high carbon rich, high energy fuel. So if we add some additive, or better to say hydrogenated thing, then diesel burns cleaner way and gives more energy, and that's why these decalines could be added to the could be added to the petroleum. Diesel. Now question is, why can we add hydrogen directly to the diesel? Obviously no. See why? What happened in case of inside this internal combustion engine? This oil goes inside the engine, it vaporizes, and the vapor pushes the piston, it moves, and in this way car. But hydrogen is a gas, so you need to have a balance of oil vaporization versus this will choke. Compared to that, this will not. So in this way, ultimately everything is converted into carbon dioxide and water. That's fine in case of diesel, in case of this, but it will give more energy output as 5 number of hydrogens are added. Okay, so this is the overall thing for this discussion. Now we have understood the application of hydrogen storage, and by the way, one another information, please remember there is one chemical very famous, I shall discuss in some another topic, ammonia boron, which is useful for solid state hydrogen production. Okay, so but reversibility of this reagent have a question, but this is a very good promising thing. And by the way, this is cheaper compared to transition metal hydrogen storage thing. For example, you may consider that there are some transition metals which can absorb hydrogen and store efficiently. How much, if you compare this versus this, is more efficient compared to them. Okay, so this is the overall nature, or you may consider that this is the overall understanding of this thing as a hydrogen storage device. So not only this, some other thing like benzene, toluene, those things can also perform the similar job. And since we are moving towards a carbon neutral economy, such kind of alternative technology is also highly desirable. And since we are discussing about the hydrogenation process, now a question may come in your mind that, sir, which one means how this hydrogen is produced right now. Present technology for hydrogen production is utilization of methane, better to say natural gas. From there methane we get, so that methane is converted into hydrogen. I shall describe this thing in a dedicated lecture very soon, how hydrogen commercially produced. So what reaction actually utilized to production of hydrogen? This methane plus oxygen ultimately produces carbon monoxide plus hydrogen. Okay, so from there you can consider 2 hydrogen. Actually this is, you can consider this gassing gas thing, and if you want further one more hydrogen extra, you can add water to it, means steam. Then what it produces? It produces carbon dioxide plus hydrogen. So overall 3 molecules of hydrogen production possible. So 3 molecules of hydrogen production possible. Among them, one is from methane and another is from water. So this is the story. But right now scientists are trying to produce hydrogen from water, means water electrolysis. I shall discuss later. So that is more green. So that's an alternate strategy. Now, so this thing we'll discuss later on. Now question is another application what I told, sebacic acid preparation. What happens? Let me go little quickly. Just it's a mixture, I'm not focusing, but in this case remember cis is more reactive than trans. So what happened? This is, and let's discuss this and this. If you react this thing with oxygen from air, what it produces? We know that oxygen is a diradical, means it's a triplet. And by the way, singlet oxygen also possible. I have discussed in a dedicated lecture. Their chemical reactivity is entirely different. You may visit that lecture if you want to learn more. So this, actually this is a radical reaction. And in which case they are radical abstraction. 2 types of hydrogen. This is a tertiary hydrogen, this is a secondary hydrogen. So after abstraction it will result in a tertiary radical, and in this case secondary radical. We know tertiary radicals are far more stable because of number of hyperconjugation and plus I effect. So first thing, what it will produce? This, and by the way, this is actually the one of the most stable radicals. So rearrange probability is also very less. So next step, another radical, so this part will further react with this and radical combination will occur. Sorry, my health is not that much good, that's why sound may not feel better. I'm sorry for that. So this, in next step what happens? If you give H+, what is expected? That possibility is this cumene phenol rearrangement. I have already discussed a dedicated lecture, similar mechanism will observe there also. Okay, so ultimately logically this is possible, should be, but this will not result a fate. Instead of, if protonation happens here, then that has a fate. What do I mean? So it will become positive charge. OH is not a good living group, but OH2 means water is a good living group. So in next step it will remove. So actually this happens in one step, but I giving you in a stepwise so that you can understand. Actually oxygen plus charge doesn't happen. So this hydrogen migrates here and it leaves. Okay. In case of Cs, just look at this. So migration is possible, easier compared to the trans one. Okay. Now, So this, and in this, sorry, I made mistake, not hydrogen migration, sorry, this is different. So what happens, this carbon is positive charge, so what it expects, it takes, sorry, oxygen positive charge, it takes from here, okay. So what it will result, so carbon will migrate, means what do I mean, it will go there. So there is one hydrogen. So in this way, this in between bond will be broken. This plus H2O positive charge is here. Now another molecule of this H2O will attack here. So what it will result? OH. Fine. Next step, what is done? Using any dehydrating agent, for example, you can use P2O5 like that. Alumina, this thing. At industry prefers alumina kind of thing, solid state. So it will produce this. Next step, if you do the selective hydrogenation. Selective hydrogenation means using hydrogen and very non-polar catalyst like palladium. What it does, it added hydrogen. And after that, what they do oxidation. We know ketone undergo oxidation in both sides to produce this. Okay. So in this case, this produces a diuic acid. So fine. And this diuic acid actually not only one side cracking. Okay. So ketone produces this diuic acid. This is actually C10 because parent compound is C10. And this is, and you remember the nylon 6 preparation. Adipic acid means 1,6 means C6 diuic acid plus diamine produces the polymer. So in this case, the chain length of this carboxylic acid is more. So you can have similar kind of polymer like nylon 6,6 but with some different property. Okay. So in this way, this ultimately results in an industrially validated chemical. And in this case also, this KCP means the cis isomer is more reactive compared to the trans isomer. Now question, what is the challenge? The challenge for a chemist is to prepare cis-decalin selectively. What is the difficulty? See, these hydrogenation reactions are happening on an aromatic nucleus. They are relatively more stable. So lots of energy input is needed, means high temperature, hydrogen pressure, and under that higher condition means drastic condition, it is very difficult to maintain selectivity for exclusive cis preparation. There are many reports in literature. They produces this cis isomer in preferential state, means they are more compared to the trans isomer, but exactly 100% preparation of this I haven't watched anywhere. If you have any such kind of literature, please share with me. I shall try to make videos on in future. So that is the difficulty. And second thing is, first of all, so drastic condition. Second thing is how to reduce the drastic condition, because if you don't give selective amount, means a significant amount of energy input, you will not get this. So this is the advantage. So scientific research and technological improvement needed to overcome this problem, such that one day in our future we can see such kind of reaction could be alternate of our hydrogen storage in liquid form. Okay. And by the way, remember naphthalene is solid under room temperature, but this decalin is liquid. So that is another advantage to handle. Handling liquid is far more easier. So this is the end of this discussion. What we have learned today? We have learned first what is the difference between the cis isomer versus trans isomer, how they are prepared from naphthalene, that is selective hydrogenation, what is the stable intermediate produced in this case, that is tetrahydronaphthalene, because one ring is capable to maintain its aromaticity. Second, this hydrogenation ultimately results in this decahydroderivative, and this decahydroderivatives application, actually this cis isomer is less stable, that is kinetically controlled, whereas trans one is thermodynamically controlled. And since it is less stable, more reactive, then it is utilized for different reaction preferential way. I am not saying that trans don't do, cis do, no, cis do, but more reactive way. Why? Because trans is more stable, so it is less reactive. And in this way, we have discussed two things. One is that is means from here to naphthalene generation and hydrogen production, which could be used as a liquid state hydrogen storage. Second is this sebacic acid, this preparation and utilization for this as an important polymer like nylon 60. So this is the overall discussion for today. I hope this video will be useful. Please write your opinion in the comment box, and if possible please like this video, share with your friends, and try to place the bell icon so that you can get notification of every single video I upload. So this is the end of this discussion, and I am again asking apology because of my voice. I am not well. So thank you again. Stay happy, stay blessed. See you in my next video. Bye bye.